Psalms 119, verse 130. The entrance of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. References Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law a light. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law a light. When we came to the earth, we had access to the Father in every way. Nothing was unknown to us. And I say that with a grain of salt because the depths of darkness were not known to us yet. And in this time where there is no separation from God, we had all access to heavenly realms, going in and out, being anywhere. Time and space weren't limitations for us. We could choose to be wherever, whenever. We were free beings. We were free beings. Before the fall, we had complete and utter consciousness, awareness, in all dimensions, in multiple dimensions. Now then, after the fall, consciousness fell. Consciousness. Now when we see, we don't see. Now when we do, when we act, we're not even realizing what we're doing, what we're acting, what we're influenced by. We're not aware. That was the fall. It was the fall of mankind's consciousness. Consciousness. We fell into a deep darkness. Our spiritual eye blinded, covered. A veil covered our spiritual eye. Now, in the bringing back of mankind to himself, God, we have to recover and restore ourselves. In order to do that, he has to help you along. How do you bring back restoration after someone has fallen into a deep darkness? You bring in light. But you can't bring in light all the way, quickly. It will blind them. It will blind them. And they will not receive it. So you have to bring in the light slowly. You have to start out with a very low dim. You need to introduce the light softly, slowly. So what was happening in the Old Testaments? Prophets would come on the scene. He brings in people to assist. So I'll bring them prophets. angels, guides. I'll raise up my own men and women to assist them. Moses, the Lord had to bring in commandments, and he had to have the law. The law. The law. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law a light. The commandments: do not steal, do not cheat, do not covet your neighbor. Those are commandments. Those things hold you upright. Though the commandments hold you upright. And they give the law, the light, somewhere to be hosted. You need the lamp in order to put the light in. Now, when you have the law, the detailed protocol for injustices, evils, darkness, you know how to respond. You know the right processes to use in every scenario, in every situation. I don't know how many times in the book of Deuteronomy Moses cries to the people and says, remember the law. Do not forget. Bind them on the frontlets between your eyes. Put them in your house. Bind them on your body, on your arms, on your wrists. Do not forget. That's why they refer to Deuteronomy as the book of remembrance. Don't forget the law. Don't forget what your parents went through. The law is a light. This is very, 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 very important. Whoa. Oh my god. So here we were. Here we were in the time of Moses. Here we are. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back in the time of Moses. Okay, this is the Old Testament. I'm not in Deuteronomy, but okay, here we go. We're in Deuteronomy. Okay, this is the time of Moses. Okay, here we are. Post fall. Okay, we fell. Right. We were in darkness. And what I mean fell. Okay, our consciousness. Right, consciousness fell. Consciousness, darkness. Our eye, our spiritual eye, our eye to see and know God has been blinded by the darkness. Okay, by the darkness. Right? Now we're in such darkness. Now God has to bring people like Moses. Moses who brings the light. He delivers the light in a lamppost, in a lampstand, with a light bulb. or for them, fire, little candle. He brings the light, and it's not the brightest of light. It's just a little brighter than where you are in your darkness. And it's just enough that will help you see where you're going. Okay? Now, here we are in Deuteronomy. And it's called the Book of Remembrance. Moses needs us to remember the law. Because in that remembrance, in that repetition, we can hold steady a light, a form of light within our consciousness that's brighter than the darkness we were previously in. Right? If we're speaking on the terms of the Israelites that were bound by the Egyptians for 400 years, they were in a stupor. They were in a darkness that only the law for them could help. And even still, that light had to be maintained, because if not, they would regress to their previous position of darkness. They had to remind themselves of who they were, of who their God is, of where they come from. Keep that light on. And for them, the light was the law. It was the only light they could contain, and they couldn't even contain it because for 40 years they kept walking in circles. They had to become adjusted to that light. It was just bright enough that it would lead them out, keep them out, but not fully get them where they needed to go. Not because of the light, but because they couldn't receive it fully at once. They needed 40 years for their eyes to adjust. They needed 40 years for their eyes to adjust to that bright light. Now, their children are accustomed to it. Their children are born into that light. They didn't know the previous darkness that was there prior. They didn't know the previous turmoil and trauma, the same depth of the trauma and abuse their parents knew. So now, it's their job to take on that higher resonance, that higher vibration of light, that higher frequency of light. Bind it on their frontlets of their eyes. Put it on their doorposts. Remember this. Keep this light. Because even though it's not the fullness of light, it's brighter than where you come from. It's brighter than where your parents just came out of. So, the children are now containing more light, huh? Yeah. And over the course of this whole new Old Testament, all the way up to Matthew, There's more prophets. There's more oracles, leaders. There's world change and transformation. There's trials and tribulation, yet also more shifts that occur. And the light is also increasing. And also, people that were coming were helping to increase that light. The oracles, the prophets, John the Baptist, who paved the way for that light which will be received for Jesus. The law and the prophets were until John. Since that time, the kingdom of God has been preached, and everyone is pressing into it. John, chapter 1, verse 6. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which gives light to every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. Jesus coming onto the scene and being that light means the world was ready for that light. Because Jesus walked the earth and completed his mission, that was the signal we were in the end time. That's why people are always saying, we've been saying we're in the end time for decades, for centuries. People have been saying we're in the end time for thousands of years. Yes. Yes. Yes, we have. Because since Jesus was on the earth, we have been a people that can hold that light. The most purest, most highest resonance of light. See, we came from complete darkness after the fall of man to hundreds, if not thousands of years, and light being introduced in increments, to now when Jesus is on the scene, he's that light, which is the most highest, all purest, brightest, in the form of a man. One man. Here's how you know he did not sin once. He was fully God and fully man on the scene. Now we're in the end time. Now we can receive it because one man fully completed the mission. That light lived and walked the earth came and died and resurrected. While he was on the earth, he did miracles, signs, and wonders. Healed, turned water into wine, walked on water. He was that light. He was that light. The most highest resonance that any human being can ever carry. He held it for the entirety of his life. Now the earth is ready. Now people can do just as he did. And do greater. He said, you will do greater than what I have done. That means you can hold that level of frequency too. And guess what? We're meant to. He called us to make disciples. He had his own disciples to teach them. This is how you resonate. This is how you carry that light. So since then, we've been able to receive more and more and more and more and more light. To today, yes please, manifestation, aura cleansing, high vibration, like this is all the work of Jesus Christ. People are so afraid of it. They're calling it New Age. No. Whatever New Age means, whatever it's your negative connotation of it, that I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but this is truth. There's so much truth in what you call New Age. But it is true. It is in fact New Age. Because why? This is a new age of humanity that can obtain and withhold a higher vibration and frequency. This is the New Age. This is that New Age that we've all been waiting for. All of us. All of heaven and earth has been waiting for this day. We have been waiting, awaiting patiently and with excitement for the New Age, where we can hold our high vibration of light and not be afraid that someone would kill us like they killed Jesus, like they martyred all of these holy people. We have people hiding out who have immense spiritual connectivity and power. People all in Eastern countries in for years, they've been trying to attack people who are levitating, who have spiritual gifts and can use them at will. Those people have to hide. Because they were able to catch on to this level of frequency very early. Relatively early. But the world in darkness definitely did not want that light. It wanted to stay where it was, comfortable. But so many people coming onto the scene bearing more light, it has to expel itself. Darkness has to leave. And now we're in the New Age, where more and more people can hold more light. And it is becoming more and more unacceptable to have certain levels of darkness, or to permit certain levels of darkness in your mind and in your life. So now, once that light, Jesus, comes on the scene and completes his mission, dies on the cross, resurrects us, and cleanses us from all our karma, aka sin, aka consequences, paid those prices for us. We can now enter into a new covenant, which is a contract of grace, which means we're no longer bound to the law. We are now connected to the Father by grace through faith. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under law, but under grace. For the promise that he would be the heir of the world was not through Abraham, was not to Abraham, or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. It is the end time because we can connect to God again, just like in the beginning. It is the end time because we no longer have to abide by certain law to connect to God, just like in the beginning. It is the end time because we can resonate at the highest frequency of light, consciousness, awareness, frequency, and access any dimension in any realm we would like, just like in the beginning. That is what it means to be in end time. It's not just God returning and making all the bad people that never believed in him go to hell. No. This is why we've been saying we've been in the end time since Jesus. This is why Jesus says we are now in the end times, because all is finished. You can now connect to God the Father, just like you did before you fell. There's no limitation. There's no barrier. There's no veil. There's no excuse of darkness anymore. I have won it all. I've paid it all. I got the keys to hell and Hades and death. You no longer have to keep reincarnating. You no longer have to keep in your same cycles and loops. You don't no longer have to go in cycles and circles and rotation and like your ancestors did. No. You now have access, and now there is nothing in between you and the Father. Now, here are the keys to access it. This is very, 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 very important. Jesus holds those keys. Jesus. Jesus. Jesus holds those keys because Jesus completed the full life cycle, holding that highest frequency and vibration of light. There is no other man, no other guru, no other prophet, no one else. That is why Jesus is the only way to the Father. He is the only one who carried that out. And he did it for you. Died for you. Completed the mission of completing the law. There is no other prophet, guru, Muhammad, no one who completed and fulfilled the law for you. That is why, no matter where you go, what you believe, or what you do, your only access to the Father is through Jesus. Now that I've made that disclaimer, you can access different realms and forms of light through other gurus, prophets, yogis. But will they be the highest, purest form of that light? No. No. They may be brighter than where you're coming from. They may have more enlightenment than where you're coming from. They may have more truth than what you have, more information, more resources. It can be better than where you're coming from. It's a relative light. It's a relative difference. But why go through? I mean, hey, do what you want to do. But in my opinion, I'd rather just go straight to the source. I'd rather just go straight to the source. Like, skip the line. Just skip the line. Just go straight to the source. That's me. That's just me. It's not to say that you can't learn from them. I still read on certain things. I like to learn from other people, but praying to someone else other than God the Father or God the Mother, I don't know. I haven't fully accepted that for myself. So, go and do what you have to do to be able to receive more light, because it's healing for most people to be able to access other realms, other people. A lot of times it's healing to get away from where they're coming from. For me especially, I grew up in a Christian household. And I've always loved and wanted God as a child, personally. Like, in my closet, I searched for him. It had nothing to do with anyone else. I wanted him for me. And even though I love the Bible and love Christian teachings, there's many things I said, I'm going to need to find that out on my own. So I left the church to go and seek God for myself. And I'll make another video about that, about me leaving the church. But I left the church because I knew I wanted the purest truth. And if I want the purest truth, I can't be deluded with all these other opinions. I have to seek him on my own, for myself. And sometimes that looks like, on the outside, going to these yogis, going to these mantras, doing these mantras, going to retreats and stuff. And people might think, oh, those are demonic. That's witchcraft. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever their perspective on these things are. Sometimes it is good for you to be led into the wilderness for your own sake. For your own sake. Because you get to understand for yourself truly who God is and who you are. So it is very important not to judge people. It is very, 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 very important not to judge. You have no idea. what is taking place inside of them. And you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know the level of darkness that they are coming out of. You might meet someone who is an alcoholic, and they drink every weekend. Every weekend, they're always getting drunk on their face. And you, not touching alcohol, will see them and say, wow, disgusting. What a drunkard. What a lazy, immoral drunkard. But that person might be praising God because they used to drink every single day of the week. Now drinking on the weekends is progress. Progress. Growth. You don't know where people are coming out of. You don't know the darkness that they are coming out of. It is very important to walk your own walk and keep your own focus on your own life. Help where needed, but any more than that, keep your eyes close to what God has put on your life. Don't look to the left or to the right at what other people are doing and how other people are living their life. It is of utmost importance. All things are working together for those who love God and are called according to His will. All things. That means the good, the light, and the bad, the darkness, which are judging and shaming. You never know what people have gone through. I think that's enough for today. Please like this video and subscribe. I want to see your faces. I want to get to know you. I want you to be in this community. I want you to be a part of this. I want to hear from you too. Comment something you learned today, or comment anything you want. A thought you had, or a revelation, or agreement or disagreement. If you had any question, I don't care. I invite you to share something.